Hey, this is Stacy from Let's Cook, y'all. Welcome back to our channel. If you're new, welcome. We're so glad you're here. We hope you'll enjoy the content on our channel and you'll consider hitting that red subscribe button. We are trying to get back in the saddle in January of a brand new year. We're back with a few easy ideas for things to cook at your house. We hope you enjoy all the food in this week's What's for Dinner video. I don't know about you guys, but I always have two things on my mind in January. One is using up items from my pantry, and two is trying to eat a little healthier. This one is the pantry. I had a box of Rice-A-Roni wild rice mix. I got that cooking in a skillet, and then I took a small soup pot and started sauteing some chopped onions and carrots, and I added some garlic right at the end so it wouldn't burn. I started adding flavor by sprinkling in some dry seasoning, some Italian seasoning, then some garlic powder and some onion powder, and some salt and pepper. I do try to monitor our salt, but this is actually a big pot, so it wasn't all that much. I made up some chicken broth using Better Than Bouillon paste, and I also added 1 can. And then I added the rest of the turkey that I had in the freezer I had thawed out from Thanksgiving. I had about 2 cups of meat. Take a little taste and see if it needs salt or any other seasonings, and then once I'm satisfied with the base, I added the cooked wild rice from that package that I'd found marked down at Kroger. Really quick, easy weeknight meal. I had a couple of cups of turkey in the freezer left over from Thanksgiving, chipped up, and I just made a box of long grain and wild rice mix, sauteed some veggies, broth, put them all together. We've got a quick turkey and rice soup, made a pantry salad. I'm horrendously low on fresh vegetables, so it mostly just has onion, cheese, pantry things like nuts and craisins in it. I did throw some olives and pickles on it. So we will make our bowls, mugs up of the soup, have some salad. Soup and salad is what's for dinner tonight. Y'all, funny story. Tim doesn't really like rice. I love it, so I don't make it as often as I would like. He took one bite of the soup and he looked at me and made a face and he said, "You know what would be really good in the soup? Noodles." And I said, "Well, then that would make it a turkey noodle," but I was making turkey and rice. And he goes, "Okay, well, next time will you add noodles for me?" I swear I love that boy to pieces. For tonight's meal, I took out 2 chicken breasts out of my freezer and thawed them out. Then I seasoned them liberally on both sides with garlic powder, onion powder, cumin, and some salt and pepper. I added them to my crock pot. I did use a crock pot liner just to make my life a little easier. In the bottom, I layered 1 can of black beans that I had rinsed and drained, 1 can of kernel corn, or you could easily use frozen, and then I added about a half a cup of salsa, your choice of your favorite, spicy or mild, and mix that all together to make a bed on the bottom. Then take the seasoned chicken breasts and lay them on top of that bed of the black beans, the corn, and the salsa. At this point, I just cover it with salsa. You're technically supposed to use another half cup, but I just like to cover my breast and then cover and cook until they're done. This usually takes me about 3 or 4 hours. When they're ready, I take them out and put them in a separate bowl to shred, and then I take some softened cream cheese and add to my crock pot and let it start melting while I shred the chicken using 2 forks. Once the cream cheese is melted and incorporated, then I add the chicken back in and stir it all together. It does make the sauce a little pink, but it's delicious. This is a family favorite. It's one of the first things I learned how to make when Tim and I got married. It's probably so easy you can't mess up, so it gave me confidence in the kitchen. It remains a favorite to this day. We have done it in the crock pot. We've adapted it for the Instant Pot. I'll leave those links. We eat this chicken Santa Fe over chips, sort of like a chunky nacho. I put mine over some brown rice, and we will top it with cheese and jalapenos for Tim. We'll make up a quick bowl and eat. Chicken Santa Fe is what's for dinner today. Since I had the turkey and rice soup that I enjoyed a lot more than Tim did left over, I decided to take some chopped onion and saute it in a pan and then add a half a pound of meat. I took some turkey out of my freezer. Again, I'm trying to cook more from my pantry. I also had some hamburger buns in the freezer, so I made a quick small half batch of sloppy joes, which is one of Tim's favorite meals. I do sloppy joes several ways. This today, just how I felt. I added 1 can of tomato sauce. I halved everything else, the brown sugar, the Worcestershire, the vinegar, the mustard, the ketchup, and just eyeballed the ketchups and the seasonings and made a quick thing of sloppy joes. I tasted it. He does love barbecue sauce, so I added a little bit of that at the end for him.
Quick and easy, Tim's favorite. One of my favorite ways to use leftover hamburger buns. So we made sloppy joes, potato chips. That's what's for dinner today.
I need brown rice for tonight's meal, so I measured some brown rice into a glass Pyrex measuring cup and then rinse it. I put 1 cup of water in my Instant Pot and then the rinsed rice. If you'll notice, I have a lot of gadgets. I do have a rice cooker. The brown rice setting no longer works, so I can only do white rice in it. So I push everything below the water line and then set the Instant Pot for 15 minutes to cook the brown rice.
We'll cook the brown rice on high pressure for 15 minutes. Let it NPR, which means natural pressure release. We'll just leave it alone for 5 and then quick release the rest of the pressure.
This is my West Bend slow cooker. I'm showing you that I've got it on these new fabric trivets that my sister made and gave me at Christmas. They're made from fabric from our daddy's old shirts.
I put some mostly frozen chicken breasts in my little West Bend slow cooker. Season them with salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, some cumin, and a lot of taco seasoning. I'm going to cover them in salsa and cook them till they're done and shred them. We like to use these for hard tacos, soft tacos, taco salad, enchiladas. Very versatile.
I've mentioned this tidbit before, but it bears repeating. I've found doing rice in the Instant Pot, once the pressure's released, go ahead and open it right away. Take the little white scraper that came with it and scrape the whole bottom completely. It will keep it from sticking and it will make the insert much easier to clean. And I absolutely couldn't resist showing you my brand new Star Wars Pyrex that I got for Christmas that I absolutely love. In case you didn't know, I'm a Star Wars fanatic and I needed new Pyrex anyway. So win-win, I absolutely love them. And all laid out for you guys. It's like our own little homemade Mexican buffet.
I did the salsa chicken in the crock pot that we will probably put with fixins on some soft tortillas. And anything that's left, I'll either freeze, we'll use on a taco salad. I might make enchiladas with them. We'll see what I feel like in a day or two. Took about half of the brown rice that I cooked in the Instant Pot. The rest of it will go in the freezer for another meal. I have a couple of things that use brown rice and either lentils or, actually I think they both will use lentils. So I will use that brown rice in another recipe from my freezer. And I beefed up a can of refried beans with some more seasonings and taco sauce, just like I beefed up the rice with salsa and seasonings. We will make our plates, have a little Mexican fiesta. That's what we're having for dinner today.
As I said at the very beginning of the video, I'm committed in January to trying to use more items from my pantry and freezer. This was a recent purchase from Sam's Club, these spicy chicken patties. We showed them last week, and if you watched here long enough, you'll understand that I don't repeat all that much stuff unless we really, really like it. Tim was asking for these again, so I got them out another time and did them in the air fryer. In my air fryer, I cook these at 370 for 14 minutes. I flip them and spray them on both sides. I flip them at the 10-minute mark, and they're pretty perfect. We think these are a really great deal.
There's 9 in this package. Can't see that because of the light. And this 3-pound bag is $10.98 at Sam's. So for $11, we probably couldn't even get 2 takeout meals, and this is going to give us, and this will give us 9 meals, so that's really economical. They're a little spicy for me, but with the bread and the mayonnaise and some pickles to tone it down, I was able to eat it.
I'm sure you can tell by the use of the paper plates, I really didn't feel like cooking today. I did some fries in the air fryer and then added the chicken patties for the 14 minutes. We put them on buns. I had some fruit with mine. Tim just had fries, and we called it done. They were delicious. Since I took the day off yesterday, I felt like I needed to get back in the kitchen and cook something today. I mixed up a half a cup of chicken broth using Better Than Bouillon paste and a half a cup of tomato sauce using hot water and some of this tomato paste from a tube that I love.
I have a can of enchilada sauce, but I'm in the mood and have the time to make one. I will leave a link to the recipe I'm using. It's from a website called Gimme Some Oven. We're going to heat, I am cutting it in half since I'm doing a small batch of enchiladas. We're going to heat the oil in the skillet. We're going to add some flour and make a roux. We'll cook this out for about a minute. And then add the spices. The full recipe calls for a 1/4 cup of chili powder. Like I said, I'm cutting it in half, so that's 2 tablespoons. Garlic powder, cumin, and a dash of oregano. We'll toast these and then add the broth and the tomato sauce that I made. You can use all broth. You could probably use all tomato sauce. But I'm going to try half and half. This is a new recipe for me. I have not made it before. I may go back to the one I was using before. I actually couldn't find it. Couldn't remember which one I'd used. Or a can. You can always buy a can.
Since I hadn't made this one before, I'm not sure if I toasted my spices too long or they were supposed to be this dark.
The recipe says to whisk until no lumps remain. Bring it to a simmer and then simmer 10 to 15, maybe 20 minutes to let the flavors marry. So that's what I'll do. That is it almost looks like a mole. It's a very thick looking. And it does say test for salt, and mine needs salt because I had, well no, that wasn't low sodium broth. I'll probably still add a pinch of salt. Whew. That's spicy. I may have to put a little more chicken broth. Ooh, doggy. Ooh, that's a little spicy for me. Ooh. I'm going to go off the reservation. That's a little spicy and a little stout for me. And since it has tomatoes in it, I'm going to add a little sugar. I do like things sweet. It's missing something to me. I'm not real sure what it is. And it's a little spicy. Tim will love it. It's a little spicy for me to be eating. I may keep doctoring on it. I did add a little pinch of salt. I'll keep tasting and adjusting.
Once the enchilada sauce had finished simmering on the stove, I took some of it and spread on the bottom of this little small aluminum pan. I've still got some of these in my cabinet to use up. They fit perfectly in my air fryer. I took some tortillas out of the freezer. I do freeze those in big bags from Sam's. I warmed up some of the salsa chicken left from making the crock pot the other day. I heated that up in the microwave, so everything was basically hot. I layered the enchiladas with the chicken, some of the sauce for Tim, and a whole bunch of cheese. I made 2 for him and 1 for me. I left the sauce out of the inside of mine and also off the top of mine because that was a little spicy for me. I was making a salad to go alongside the small batch of enchiladas, so I mixed up a quick batch of some Mexican ranch. I take some of my dry ranch seasoning that I keep in the fridge. I'll leave a link to that. Add a little mayonnaise, a little milk, and then to make it kind of a Tex-Mex flavor, I just add some lime juice, cumin, a little salt and pepper, and taste and adjust.
Took the salsa chicken and made a quick enchilada sauce, turned it into some really quick chicken enchiladas that I did in the air fryer, but of course you can always do them in a pan in the oven. I just made a small batch for us. I made a big salad and some Mexican ranch. We've got a little bit of the beans and the Spanish rice left from when I made the chicken the original day. We'll serve our plates. Quick redo of Mexican in our house. That's what's for dinner today.
Thanks so much for stopping by and watching this week. Take care, have a wonderful and truly blessed day.